And we're live! Not SmackDown. SummerSlam Night 1 is in the books. It was last night, and we're going to do hot takes. I apologize for not getting here sooner, but I woke up this morning, and my workplace was very chaotic, so I had to beeline it into work, had to get all that taken care of, and now I'm back. What I am doing is killing time, trying to get some people to jump on the live stream. I didn't really have an announced thing, but let's just get to some hot takes. How about that? Let's just get to some hot takes. We'll start off with, I want Cody's helmet mask. What's up, Eric Shook? Yeah, Cody's helmet mask was really cool with the guile hair. Now, I guess there was brand integration right there, with Street Fighter, but I think that one was appropriate because Cody is in Street Fighter, so I was like totally okay with that segment. I actually thought it was kind of, I don't know if I would say cute, but it was kind of like endearing that they used Morgan and Morgan for Liv Morgan's match. Now, what I did not catch, what's up, Najib? What's up, Jay Minton? What's up, Sinkby? Excuse me. Shockmaster. Holy cow, they should do the Shockmaster. Excuse me. Feel free to leave comments in the thing. And I might, if I happen to catch them out the corner of my eye, I'll address them. So make sure you guys and gals are commenting. But in my one take one shot, I actually said that the Gears of War product placement, I thought it was just the statue or whatever, and I am wrong. Actually, I guess it wasn't Gears of War. So the Jacob Fatu, his mask and the outfits of the Usos, I guess that was Gears of War oriented. I didn't know that. So WWE needs, if they're going to do that, I like how they did it there. It didn't really subtract from my enjoyment of the Usos and Jacob Fatu walking to the ring. Kid Wilk says, I just watched Ups and Down, and now I'm here. Ups and Downs is, it's actually What Culture. I follow Simon Miller more than I follow What Culture, but Simon Miller is an independent contractor there. So if you ever want a day after review, definitely go check out What Ups and Downs. That's how I found Simon Miller, by the way. Like a long time ago. So let's do some hot takes. So there are some people who are like mid, boring and predictable in every way. So I'm not really going to read those because they don't really say much. They don't really say much along with it. You got to if you think something sucks, let me know. Even Pervious Young here, overrated show, fire Triple H immediately after this show. And while I wouldn't mind Triple H being replaced, I need to know why you didn't like this show. Why was it overrated? Anyways, we got Comic Head. I always thought for a Cody heel turn to work, you would need a really over and clean babyface for him to work with. Could Oba Femi be that guy? Think Oba versus Cody could be built into a WrestleMania level matchup. Yes, I absolutely do think that could be a WrestleMania matchup. And the thing with Cody Rhodes is he will need somebody very over, because Cody Rhodes, I know everybody hates the guy right now, but as a heel, he is going to win the fans back within 1 month. He is that good as a heel that everybody will love Cody Rhodes in 1 month after his heel turn. So he does have to go against somebody that the crowd is really on board with. Someone like an Oba Femi. I'm not even sure if Trick Williams could survive a heel Cody Rhodes, because Trick Williams seems to stumble a little as a babyface. Now, maybe in a year, Trick will have the babyface act down. He has his heel persona down, but Trick he's missing something as a babyface. So, but Oba Femi does seem to be immune to that stuff. I think also LA Knight. Believe it or not, LA Knight would actually be a really good person to face up against a heel Cody Rhodes. But yes. Now Errol Noir follows it up and says, Oba only does squash mashes. And that's why it doesn't work, he says. Yeah, I see that. I see a lot of people saying that, and I am very much against only squash matches for Oba Femi. However, I do feel like with Brock Lesnar, it's almost like an exception. We can have just these two beasts colliding with each other, but I do want to get Oba away from squash matches. Ironically, one of the best matches of his main roster so far has been Kit Wilson and Jey Uso. So I think we need Oba Femi to have more matches like he did with Jey Uso. But when it comes to Brock, I almost feel like we do need that. Oba does need to level up, and so it can be that kind of just spam fest. So I want Oba to start having competitive matches, but not against Brock Lesnar. So I don't know if that makes sense. It's like sometimes you got to change the style of things. All right, we got Kid Wilkes here. Kid Wilkes, you're in the chat. This is yours. We have Randy Orton not hitting the punt return was a missed opportunity. Hopefully, it will mean we get Cody versus Sammy versus Finn on night 2. I definitely don't want Cody inserted into that matchup. However, if it was, now that I'm thinking about it though, it would give Sami Zayn total legitimacy, even more. Can you believe it? What, the Golden Boy gets inserted in my match? That would be funny. So there is some value to what you said, but I don't know. I don't know if I would want that. However, you are right. We should have done the punt kick because, at this point, Cody can survive the punt kick. It took him one night to go from WrestleMania night 1 to or 2 nights to get to Monday Night Raw. So the punt kick is like Cody's immune to it for some reason. But I do feel that the punt kick should have happened. And because he was right in the right placement too, right in the right place, just do the punt kick. It's an instant callback, and we're back with the feud that should have happened immediately after WrestleMania. So I do agree, missed opportunity. Since Kid Wilkes is here, I'll read his second hot take. Usually I only try to do one hot take, but I appreciate when you guys and gals give me multiple hot takes because I try to hit every topic, and sometimes people don't leave every topic, so it's good to leave more than one hot take. Oh, here we go. Skywalker the Third says Brock should have Oba up against the cage in an MMA shoot angle. The cage should have been used more, or otherwise they should have just made this a Minneapolis street brawl or something. And then no cage spot is kind of lame. They should not have done Hell in the Cell. It should have just been a street fight. That's all. No DQ match. All right, Kid Wilkes says, funny how Liv left the Judgment Day at ringside and didn't have her girls for the post show. Secretly was hoping for Liv to be boot from the group tonight. That's a good observation. Why weren't they there? Why weren't the girls there? It is funny though. On the post show, Liv Morgan was like, "Yes, I'm the greatest of all time," and then she said, "And Raquel won the Intercontinental title. I'm so happy for Raquel." And don't worry, Roxy, I'm sure you'll get something soon. So that was funny. I like how Liv Morgan is so dismissive of Roxy in a way that sounds kind of supportive. Skywalker the Third, here's another one for him. No way they let Gunther win. Shake my head. Boo! Vincent, well, good morning. The Philippines, I've actually considered moving to the Philippines, Vincent. So, got any jobs there? Maybe I can send you my resume. I think I wanted Nick Aldis to win, but I totally understand why Gunther won. I totally understand why Gunther won. It's not Gunther has never lost a singles match where gold wasn't on the line on the main roster. I think not including King of the Ring. Was he King of the Ring? Did he? No, he wasn't in King of the Ring. And we're talking triple threat, not a triple threat here. I would have loved for Nick Aldis to win. I really did get invested. When Nick Aldis went on the CVV, Chris Van Vliet show, and he started like tearing up about how he didn't want to let the fans down, I was like, yeah, I want this guy to win. In fact, I want to make him champion right now. And I was never really a Magnus Nick Aldis fan back in TNA. I didn't hate the guy, but I wasn't in love with the guy either. Always. I am almost welcome here. Almost. Don't get any ideas, Wrestle Chop. We're saving room for Sante Zap. You are always welcome here. Thank you for that, Vincent. I'll let you, if I ever decide to go, hit me up. But yes, Nick Aldis, I really bought into his story. So it would have been nice if he had won. It would have been that, Rocky 5, where the old timer who's actually younger than everybody in the main event wins. It would have been cool. Mickie James was there. AJT. Yes, Mickie James was there. I was happy they were able to share that moment. I felt bad for the kid because the kid is like in that awkward stage where it's like, I love you, Dad, but I don't want to be seen with you, Dad. But you did just have a match at SummerSlam, so, I guess I'll go in front of all these 30,000 people, but I don't know what to do. Hey, Chop, you on the TV today, so I won't be talking much. No problem, STG Gamer. Everybody at STG, I'm on a TV right now, everybody, so hello, my head's even bigger now. Magnus dethroning Roman, let's freaking go. I don't think that'll happen, that won't happen. Okay, Killer Wolf, since they are sticking with Liv, just give her storylines for crying out loud. Mr. Dark Gable, hello. What's next for Oba after SummerSlam? That's the $1 million question, because in theory, he should just go after a championship belt. That's it. That's all he should do. He conquered the Beast. It doesn't look like the Beast is going to try to get in his face anymore. So, he was supposed to get a matchup for a championship on this show, SummerSlam. So, logically speaking, it should be against the champion. Now, are they going to try to hold off to Mania to crown Oba? I hope not. I think some people have it in their head that, big moments have to happen at WrestleMania. Oba coming out after Roman's match to confront him. Ooh, that would be holy S word, We got Jalen Carter. Hot take. Keep Knight with Solo Sikoa maybe as a manager. No, I don't want Solo as a manager anymore. I want Solo just wrestling all the time. Oba versus Omos. They actually have a mini feud going on house shows on NXT. And I'm not sure if they ever settled their beef. Picture-in-picture ad, crazy. Oh, I'm sorry. It's one of the ways for me, I'm like WWE. I got a table in my kitchen that has the Slim Jim logo on it. But Killer Wolf, since they're sticking with Liv, give her storylines or crying out loud. Yes, they need to give her storylines. She's a good heel. Liv Morgan is one of the few heels that actually people hate, and that's a good thing. So, I don't understand why we couldn't let her have a little bit of feuds here and there. In fact, why not have let Sol Ruca have been a feud of hers? It's not like they really did anything with Sol Ruca. They should have just gave Sol Ruca to Liv Morgan to have a feud with for a little bit instead of Becky Lynch. Honestly, Becky is the best in the world, though, so I do understand why they had to give it to her, and that's not just me saying it. That's Sports Illustrated. But Liv Morgan could have feuded with so many people. Heck, they could have Jordan Grace. Jordan Grace could have been there. They could have just broke up the Bellas. And had him go after Paige and Brie could have just gone after Liv Morgan. There's no reason, absolutely no reason why there was no feud There was not any feud for her. In fact, just call up someone from NXT even, if that's the case. If you have nobody, like 105 days without a title fence is unheard of. Well, not unheard of because WWE does that a lot. They did it with Jade Cargill and they actually did it with Io Sky. But for her to have, that's just a travesty. And I feel people are hating Liv Morgan for the wrong reasons right now. We should hate Liv Morgan because she's annoying as all get out. We shouldn't hate Liv Morgan because her title reign sucked. You know what I mean? She should, like, I wouldn't even care if she won every title match by getting intentionally disqualified because she is just, she was a chicken heel, but put the title on the line. Yeah, they could have made, instead of having Bayley and Lyra go after the tag team championships, and that's why they crashed out, they could have had a 1-month feud with Bayley, and then another 1-month feud with Lyra, and then those two have a falling out. That would have gave Liv Morgan 2 opponents right there. Right there. TTJC says, I was surprised by how much I enjoyed the matches given the lacking buildup. I agree with that. I actually enjoyed almost everything last night with and the build sucked on everything. I did not really enjoy the 6 women tag match, and the Cody Punk match did not live up to my expectations, but it was still a good match. However, the Brock and Oba match was by far the lamest Hell in a Cell in recent history. Dare I say the 2020s overall, especially comparing it to Punk and Drew. Yes, I did enjoy. If the Hell in the Cell wasn't there, then the Oba match I would have enjoyed a lot more. But it seems like there's an asterisk now on the Oba Brock match in that why was the Hell in the Cell there? So I do understand that critique. However, I like the match. And you're right, it was the lamest. It was the lamest in recent memory, but definitely not the lamest. I mean, heck, the entire 2010 to 2020 was just riddled with lame Hell in the Cells. Although a very underrated Hell in the Cell is the Fiend versus Seth Rollins. No, not joking. The New Day versus the Usos. I thought that was a really good Hell in the Cell. Maybe not like the caliber of Shawn Taker, but still good. So Albert Stein says, not sure if it's already a hot take, but Cody and Punk should have closed the night out. Yeah, I could see that argument. I could definitely see that argument. Now, I do feel that by the reactions of the crowd and stuff, Oba and Brock was the right call, but I am pretty much like 99%, he says call it a heck in a cell match. That's funny. I'm 99% always let the championship match close out the night. So, like, the only other way around this was to put Oba Brock at the start of the show. So, like, I am conflicted. I kind of feel like this. To me, if they had done Oba Brock at the beginning of the show and not at the end of the show, it wouldn't have, I would have been okay with that too. However, it was just impossible. It would have been impossible to follow, or it would have been very difficult to follow. I guess Liv Morgan and Io could have actually followed that. Their match was that good. But that emotional weight of what happened afterwards, it would have been very hard to follow. And excuse me. So I do understand why they did it. You never want to have a situation that when Hogan and The Rock fought at WrestleMania 18, that match had sucked all the life out of the crowd, that when Jericho and Triple H went on next, well, nobody really cared. And I remember watching that match and just being bored because I was emotionally spent from Rock Hogan. And when Undertaker Shawn fought at WrestleMania 25, I didn't care about Randy Triple H because I was emotionally spent. So I do understand. We might have been emotionally spent after Oba Brock. Cody CM Punk to actually go. For them to have a 30-minute match after that Hell in a Cell would have been tough. Ooh, AJT sent a gift. Thank you so much. 2 jewels. Sent 100 for 2 jewels. The card isn't bad, but the storytelling was off. The feuds all sucked. The only feuds that were the only feuds that I gave A's were Nick Aldis Gunther. I actually gave an A to Danhausen, Dominic, because they did the proper storytelling, but the story itself was not an A story. So I do regret giving that one an A, but they told the proper story. They just didn't tell a good story. And then I think I gave someone else an A, but I don't remember who. But the builds did suck. Brie is now injured as soon as Nikki returns. The Vision all over again. So I did not notice actually that Brie got injured last night. So it did in retrospect explain why she didn't attack Paige last night, because I was like, why isn't Brie attacking Paige if Nikki's attacking Paige? So I thought that was weird. But I hope Brie is okay, and yeah, like that's crazy. Nikki comes back, then Brie goes out. Like I hope that Fatal Influence is not in the vortex of the Bellas, and because I know they're just trying to get the tag team belts on the Bellas. And I don't want them to do just a complete holding pattern like they did with Stephanie Fakir and Liv Morgan. Why did they black out Brock passing it down to Oba? Blackout? I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't catch any blackouts. And if I did, I just missed it. Okay, so this is kind of a joke, because this person, Epsilon Kodem, put it in the group chat or on the other video, but he repeated it here. They should add Cody in a contenders match to make it a triple threat and have Cody win the match tonight so he can finish his story. He's talking about being put in the Seth Roman match, and he's trolling because like we kind of riffed on this. So he says, have Cody enter into a triple threat and be added into Roman and Seth. And then WrestleDon said, yeah, and then have Cody stack Seth on Roman and pin them. And then I said, and then have Oba Femi come out and say he wants his King of the Ring title shot right now just for Cody to roll him up. 1, 2, 3. So we were joking around that. The crazy thing is, when I say that, people will get really offended. I can't believe you want that. And I'm like, dude, guys, gals, I'm joking. We're joking. People are so like, you ever see Idiocracy? Like, I'm not the smartest guy in the room, and somehow I'm like, how has the world evolved to where we're at? We have Skywalker. Nick is in better shape of 99% of the roster. I'd put it up there with Drew. He is in good shape. Nick Aldis. And honestly, I feel like this feud should have been Drew McIntyre. I do feel that Gunther stepped in almost seamlessly, but I feel like it should have been Drew McIntyre. But I'm happy with what we got. WrestleDon. Yeah. WrestleDon heard his name and he appears. Then we got Errol Noir. Io once again saved the show. Had the best match of the night. I agree it was the best match of the night. So I'm sorry, but the main event was full of cheeks. Cheeks. A 10-minute Hell in a Cell? Seriously? I mean, you're allowed to feel that way. You know, again, I don't think it should have been a Hell in the Cell. I think that was the mistake. If they wouldn't have done a Hell in the Cell, if that wasn't a Hell in the Cell, then a 10-minute match from Brock Lesnar would have been unheard of, you know? But Io and Liv definitely, to me, had the best match of the night. The 6-women tag match had the worst match of the night, but Brie did get hurt. But then again, they just wrestle. That diva-style wrestling doesn't compare to the Women's Revolution style of wrestling. So I feel they would have had the worst match of the night anyways. And that's okay. Somebody has to have the worst match. It just happened to be them. Then what else? Emotionally invested, I think, was Nick Aldis Gunther. The match that stole the show was the 6-man tag because of Solo running it back and not jobbing out LA Knight and Royce Keys doing that insane power slam. Cody Punk was okay to me. Now, one of my most there's this channel I watch. There's this channel I watch called Wrestle Talk, and the guy, Ollie Davis, is one of my favorite YouTubers, and he absolutely loved the CM Punk Cody match to the point where I'm like, did I miss something? Because, I mean, I thought it was fine, but I thought it was like a 6.8 to a 7, and it was fine. It was fine, but it wasn't like, oh my God, this is the amazing thing ever. And then Brock and Oba was my most hyped match of the night. And the most adrenaline rush match of the night. And I enjoyed it. I think I knew right from the get-go that this was not going to be a Hell in the Cell match. I knew from the get-go it wasn't going to be a Hell in the Cell match. Andrews, I mean, you're more than welcome to your opinion, but I actually like Wrestle Talk a lot. But you're more than welcome to your opinion. Roman Reigns says, hot take. Roman Reigns acknowledged me. Says, hot take. I love Punk off the top rope. Oh my God. What was Punk doing? Did he lose a bet to his wife? Did AJ Lee say, you don't come home unless you try a moonsault? Props for trying. He did a better job than I could have. And he even laughed at himself. I think CM Punk is at the point in his career where he's just enjoying wrestling out there. So, and I will say this also, CM Punk, after on a press conference, had a really good press conference. I like babyface Punk if they do it right, and babyface Punk at the press conference last night was really good. Where the heck was Pat McAfee with Randy? That's funny. Hermano Grizz says, LA Knight no es un powerbomb pero esta más musculoso que Royce Keys. Ja. Okay, so I don't speak Spanish, so I can't reply to that. Hopefully I wasn't cussing. We got, it says translate to English. Hang on. Knight isn't a power bomb, but he's more muscular than Royce Keys. Ha 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 ha. Oh, okay. So, no, I think Royce Keys just, like Big E, Big E, beefy man meat, slapping meat kind of guy. I think his muscles are different. LA Knight is definitely cut, though. He's definitely cut. WRX Dill 4114. Hell in a Cell is a joke. Too short and no sell the tombstone was absolutely ridiculous. I agree with the other guy. The cell was not needed. Okay, so I'm not going to read any more the cell wasn't needed comments because we all agree the cell itself was not needed. I still enjoyed the match, but the cell itself was not needed. Now I will say this though. I think I was too hyped. I was too in the moment. I was just like, I don't think you should really be no selling a tombstone pile driver. So I do hope that that Oba Femi, we can power him down now. I do hope we can power down Oba Femi. I want, last night was spinach Oba Femi, he was like Popeye eating spinach, so we were at his full power. Now we need to or I'll tell you what, he was fighting, he was Superman right in the orbit of the sun fighting somebody. I need Oba Femi now to go to a red sun planet so he can be strong but not overpowered. We do need to depower Oba, but I was happy that we got full sun, full solar energy Oba against Brock. 2009 Mamba says Solo Sikoa and Nick Aldis should get pushed. Yes, I do believe that. I think he should have kicked out of the tombstone. I don't think he should have no-sold it. So, and I think they can depower him because he had a good matchup. he had a fine matchup against Jey Uso, like, of all people. And I've seen Oba Femi fight people like Javon Evans, so like we just have to depower him. It's fine. Now, if they keep this up, then we got a problem. But I say we just gotta depower him. Superman is super tough in the yellow sun. We just gotta take Oba to the red sun. LA Knight was more over than anybody, including Cody and Punk. Yeah, LA Knight or Oba Femi, they were the two most over. Oh, Solo Sikoa and Nick Aldis should get pushed. I agree. I absolutely agree. I want Solo pushed to the moon. And Nick Aldis, I would love to come back as a wrestler. Even though he already got rehired as a GM. Major Mario, I love Oba Femi. He's my favorite since he was NXT North American Champion, and I'm glad he's getting pushed. But come on, 3F5's a tombstone he kicks out. How do we justify that he won't mop the floor with any top champion now? So, I really like the idea of Brock using the tombstone, but I hate the idea it's already been buried, essentially. Yeah, I liked Brock using it. It made me think. Again, I feel like he should have been a wibbly wobbly. He could have kicked out, but he should have been wibbly wobbly. You know, like when like you go back to WrestleMania 25, Shawn Michaels kicked out of the tombstone, but he was spent. But I just think it's a product. Brock can't have those kind of matches either. All this was blown. This is Josh. All this was blown up within 5 minutes. LOL, but he was still awesome. Oh, yeah. I mean, dude, like, if I got up right now and did 5 jumping jacks, I'm going to be blown out. So, like, I don't blame him. 3 years since wrestling. And then, I've never experienced this, but I can only imagine just walking out into that arena, the adrenaline just like boom, 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 every endorphin in your brain going off. You're probably blown. It's a miracle that those guys and gals can go out there and have a match after that. So I would be blown out too. I remember I went to WrestleMania 23, and I was acting like Umaga the entire time. I didn't have the face paint, but I was acting like Umaga. Basamoa! And just from walking from the parking lot to my seat, I was blown out. Just acting like a maniac. So like for Nick Aldis to be blown out, like I totally, yeah. Respect. What's up, Carmichael? We got Wrestle Don says, not a bad show by any means, but nothing other than the 6-man tag match really stood out to me. I feel like years ago we used to get B-level PLEs that felt more important than anything that happened tonight. It just doesn't feel like night 1 or night 2 event that's supposed to be the new WrestleMania Junior. Yeah, or Hot WrestleMania, Simon Miller calls it. Yeah, it didn't feel like SummerSlam, but it did. It was better than a B-level PLE in my opinion, but it didn't feel like SummerSlam. 2 nights of SummerSlam is not needed. It's just not needed. To be honest with you, you could have got rid of the women's match, the 6-woman tag match. And then you got to take out some commercials. I think the total wrestle time was like 120 minutes or something, and it was like a 3.5 hour show. So like we could have definitely made room for a 9 match card, maybe an 8 match card on Saturday would have been perfectly fine. But it's the advertisements and that just kill it. Better than WrestleMania already. Well, Roman Reigns liked it better than WrestleMania. Nick Aldis needs to stay a wrestler, says Killer Wolf. After that banger of a match, I hope he does. We got Tiz Mickey. She says, so did I miss something? When did they make Brock and Oba the main event? They literally make this whole feud and the argument that Sammy had no... Wait, they literally make This literally makes the whole feud and the argument that Sammy had null and void. Also, I'm not sure how that makes it null and void. Maybe because Punk and Cody aren't in the main event. Technically, they're still considered the main event, but I get what you're saying. Although you could still argue that Sammy's point is that he lost the championship. Man, do a few jumping jacks. I'd probably break an ankle. I think that was a last-minute call to make Brock Oba the main event because they weren't really announcing it until right before. Also, if Oba kicked out of a tombstone piledriver to the wooden part of the mat, who is he going to lose to ever? Yeah, again, it's valid. It's a valid criticism. And I'm just willing to say that as long as superpowered Oba is only for people like Brock or Omos, I'm okay with it. But if he's like that kind of power to maybe Jacob Fatu, like I wouldn't want that. I'm trying to think, or Drew McIntyre. No, I need Drew McIntyre. A Drew McIntyre Oba Femi match should be very even. Or a Randy Orton Oba Femi match should be very even Steven. So like I did not catch the kick out last night because I was just too in the moment. I was just loving the match that I didn't dissect it. But after I do agree that he should have decisively kicked out of the tombstone. Decent show, says Eric Shook. Hope Night 2 delivers. Yep. Hope Night 2 delivers. Solid. This is STR Game Takes. He's watching me on TV right now. Solid SummerSlam. Not the best, not the worst. Fair. But I feel even more resolute. Oba Femi. Should have been a last man standing match. It was good, but didn't need this. Everybody's like, didn't need the sell. Building towards SummerSlam was kind of difficult to enjoy, but I actually like the SummerSlam so far. Watch it 2 hours later, had no ads. Yeah, if you can avoid spoilers and just skip the ads, this would have been an amazing show. I think it's the ads, man. I don't think we'll ever get a 10 out of 10 PLE again unless somebody can rebuy WWE and get rid of the advertisers. Because those things just really kills. It really kills the show. I think, what was it? There was something, like, I think Cody, Rhodes, and Punk just got done wrestling, right? And the announcers had to go right into an advertisement, and it didn't allow us to really digest what just happened. I don't know what the Usos are. I don't know what Roman is. One day they're baby faces, one day they're heels. That was Alfonso Passion, by the way. And then the last hot take I got is my guy, this is Carmichael, my guy returned, Randy. It generally shocked me. Randy, man, what a freaking legend. Literally, no one does it better. I think people do it better, but I am happy Randy returned. But what is Randy? Is Randy a babyface or a heel? Like, he ran in and he gets the cheers. He looks at the crowd. He does a wink. It's like, what is Randy? So, Solo Sikoa running it back was epic, says Roman Reigns salvage. It was epic. Yeet, yeet, yeet. All right, boys, gals. What, you got anything? Everybody say stuff. Saudi Mania won't have ads. Yeah, that's the crazy thing. It's like, when the Saudi government has more respect for the idea of WWE than WWE itself, that's insane. I was very glad, it says Sam tonight. I was very glad LA Knight got the pin in his match. Agreed. Carmichael, I just read your take. Did you read, Randy Orton shocked you and you're glad that he's here? What a legend. All I said was, well, I think people are better than Randy, but yes, I'm glad he's here. What is he, a babyface or a heel? Yoo-hoo, number one. I'm not sure what that means. Andrew says, that's true. Leaving your life up to Brock's calves. Though those things are thinner than foam patty. I don't know what that one says. Oh, Chop, what do we do with Paul Heyman now? This is Jalen Carter. What do we do with Paul Heyman now since he's dipped from the vision and Brock is gone? Do you think he interferes in Roman's match? That'd be one way to get him back. I'm afraid. You know what I'm really afraid of? Seth Rollins reforms the Vision. He reforms the Vision with Paul Heyman, Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker. I am like so afraid of that. And they're like, we're gonna do it right this time. We're gonna do it right this time. Oh my God! Please don't do that. and then Logan Paul and Austin Theory can just go on their own with Maxine Dupree. Or we do the NWO black and white and the red and black version of the Vision. Did you see the thank you TKO side? No. Oh my God, that's funny. Oh my gosh. Let me see any other. So what does Paul Heyman do? I was low key hoping. I hope he can get Oba Femi to turn heel. If they could turn Oba Femi heel, then he could be overpowered all day long. The reason why Brock Lesnar was so good was because he was a heel. It was how can anyone beat this heel? And that was a challenge for babyfaces. If we could turn Oba Femi heel, that would be amazing. Because then he could be Superman in the Yellow Sun all day long. What else? Who else do I got? Love you, Chop, says Sean Storm. I heart you too, my friend. The Vision sucks. Yes, they do. Did Oba mess up the finish? It felt like he was supposed to pin him on the wood. So it was a messed up finish. And this, I did hear this, though. So this is according to Wrestle Talk, who quoted Dave Meltzer. So you had the foam on the mat. It was folded up. When Oba picked up Brock Lesnar, the foam on the mat was like, it was obstructing his view somehow. And he would have had to get, or it was afraid that if he didn't want to trip over it, basically. If Oba would have tried to get him on the wooden planks, Oba would have had to walk over the folded up mat, and he was afraid he would trip. Now, this is all according to Wrestle Talk, according to Dave Meltzer. So Oba decided to just, instead of risking dropping Brock on his head, he just power bombed him or fall from graced him. And then Brock, because he had already kicked out of a fall from grace, he just took the pin. Now, if I were them, I would have kicked out. Brock should have kicked out and then just repeated the sequence on the thing. But they were in kind of a hard position. For one, Oba is still relatively new, so maybe Brock felt that he needed to just go with it. And two, I do understand that if that was the case, that I put the health and well-being over the wrestlers any day of the week. So if Oba literally thought that it would have been a danger to Brock Lesnar, then I do agree with Oba not doing it. But you are right. In the moment, I did think, why didn't he do that? We got the Vision never had a vision. And the stable name is terrible to begin with. Actually, their stable name wasn't even with them to begin with. Don't forget, the Vision was not the Vision for 3 months. 3 months before they became the Vision. Hot take, Maxine should cost Gable the IC title since betraying Otis. D-Money, ya ye cash, says that. I don't have an opinion on that. It just doesn't seem like, why wouldn't she want him to get she should want him to get the title so then she could send her man after him. If you powerbombed him on the wood, Brock would have been paralyzed. What are we talking about? Says Lotta Dragon. Honestly, if that's the case, I don't know if that would have been the case. But if it was just a danger to his back, then for sure don't let him do that. I will never put the health and well-being over a storyline. Solo running back to Yeet was one of my favorite spots of the night. Yeah, that's going to be Solo doing the yeeting is definitely going to be the biggest thing of the night. I hope, though, it seemed like Solo tried to yeet 3 or 4 more times in the show. I hope he doesn't spam it. I really do. I hope he doesn't just spam it. Because I could see Triple H saying, let's just give the yeeting to Solo. Let's just give the yeeting to Solo. So I hope that we don't do that. Because I do believe while the yeeting got Jey Uso to the promised land, on the long run, the yeeting did hurt Jey Uso. But I mean, it created a good 8 months of a paycheck, though. That's for sure. So, like, the yeeting became a monkey's paw for Jey. All right, so I think I'm gonna cut it. We are gonna do a live stream tonight. I'll do a review, a one take, one shot gut reaction review, and then tomorrow I'll do hot takes also, and then we'll just keep going. Wrestling never takes a break, people. I appreciate every single one of you. Make sure to come back tonight in like 2 hours for SummerSlam, Hot WrestleMania Night 2. I stole that. Hot WrestleMania Night 2 is a Simon Miller thing. How do I end this? More people did the Maki. I know. That's why I'm afraid they're going to give it to him. But